What happened? This thing is really like breaks like this.
Okay, you ready, Kyren?
Yes.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. If you want to sort of go closer to the windows so that you can listen to Kyren and David do their talks, that would be great. So welcome, everybody, to the last two senior exhibitions. It's remarkable that we're at this point, and I'm really excited to introduce you to, although you probably know them, to Kyren, Gardner, and David Neitzke-Pizarro. Welcome to friends and family of these two. You've both worked incredibly hard, and I'm very excited to close out the season with your talks and your shows. So what we'll do is each of them will talk, Kai and then David will talk to you about their show a little bit and introduce it to you, and then we'll do a collective Q&A where you're welcome to ask questions to either of them, or if you want both of them to answer your question, that's fine too. So let's just give them a round of applause to welcome them.
All right, first I want to thank everybody for coming to the show. My name is Kyren Gardner, the creator of a streetwear brand called Dreamstar. I started this brand because I love streetwear fashion, and I always wanted to be an entrepreneur, so I thought that what better way is to start a clothing brand. Fashion to me creates another outlet for people to express themselves and their creativity in what they're wearing. I also believe that fashion is art in the way how you style yourself and putting certain things together to create your own style, and I think that's what's interesting to me. When creating this brand, I wanted to create a community and a lifestyle for those who have the same goals and interests to do the same. So yeah.
So I'm David Neitzke-Pizarro. I'm the creator of Projections from the Past. So I don't have a formal speech like Kyren over here. Let's kind of just get a paraphrase from the statement. But in the show, I really wanted to mash together my interest in the fine arts and history. If you know me, I love my fun facts. I love learning different things. So I just thought I would take my really niche interest in historical medieval warfare and mash it together with the arts. So this show really focuses on contradictions in a way through material and imagery. So we have the knights and then the plexiglass, which holds symbolic meaning, where they're very openly protective in a way. We know from COVID, for example, the plexiglass is actually recycled COVID barriers, that they are very protective, and they provide a way of visualizing through things. But the shadows on the walls, and then the fragile nature of the clay and the carved paper really emphasize the contradictions of those strong images and stuff, and how brittle those symbols can be over time. So I wanted to have that conversation between the two. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and then also I'm so happy and proud of you, bro. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. Some of you have come a long way. Some of you are graduating, so we made it. I'm so proud of you guys too. And yeah. Any questions? No question is dumb either, too. Do you have a question?
So how are you able to accomplish this art piece in particular?
Yeah, so originally this was a big sheet of plywood. Thank you, my dad, for helping me get that from the lumber yard and cutting it out. But so it's a layer of plywood. Gosh, I'm so used to saying plexiglass. Plywood, and then I carved it out with a jigsaw on Thanksgiving. So it's been a while in the making. And then I wrapped it in aluminum foil, since the clay isn't able to directly attach to the wood. I don't know why I did that, but I adjusted. And then thank you to Katie for giving me the idea of attaching Velcro to it. And yeah, so it has the metallic paint on it, which looked so cool, in the can. I just wanted to drink it. But yeah, so that's how I was able to do it. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kyren, I'm curious if you could talk a little bit about Dreamstar. Like the name sounds so, what's the word? Like aspirational, right? Like it feels like it's about like going for it, right? Reaching for something. And I'm curious, like, with your conceiving of the imagery and like pulling together the kind of influence images that you did, like what is the kind of mindset or vibe or feeling you want to come from this clothing and from the imagery and like the kind of social media presence around this work?
So for me, like you just said, how I came up with the name was literally just an inspiration to what I wanted to do, and just I'm sorry, I happened to very far, but yeah, it's just an inspiration and like just. I'm sorry, can you like rephrase that again?
Sure, yeah, just when you're thinking about like all of the visuals, the title, the kind of images that you've chosen that are the inspiration images, like what is the kind of vibe or ideal kind of context for, do you think, for this fashion? Or like what is the world in which you imagine like people walking around in these pieces of clothing? Or when you took your friends out and shot pictures of people wearing it, right? Like what was, I mean, I have a sense of a certain kind of vibe. It's definitely urban, it's really colorful, right? Really filled with color, but there's also like a little bit of grittiness because of the environment, you know? So I'm just curious, like what kinds of, like were you, I don't know, like when you imagine people walking around in this, do you have a soundtrack? Do you have like, you know, do you have like colors that you imagine around them that they're inside? Or do you imagine like, I don't know, I guess I'm just curious how this lives in your brain out, you know, like when these physical objects are on people in the world.
That's definitely a hard question to answer, but
Yeah.
I think for the vibe I'm going for, it's kind of like the New York to Atlanta type of vibe. So like you said, the background and when I took my friends to go take pictures, like the type of aesthetic is like what makes the pictures and the brand, like the clothes and streetwear fashion. So yeah.
Or like, how do you want people to feel when they wear your clothes? Or like,
Just these questions is
okay.
I haven't thought about that one yet, but I don't know.
I just, for the first time, saw the video of you dunking the ball that you have on your Instagram feed that is like an amazing, like little piece of footage.
Yeah.
And everyone is going crazy. And like seeing that, it was so interesting to me in relation to this brand because it feels like something of that kind of like joy, enthusiasm, like intensity of the moment. Like what is the clothing that person wears? I don't know. I have been thinking about that a little bit.
I have a question that both of you actually can answer. Like, the nature of what you're doing requires a lot of planning out, right? Like, you can't, it's not an improvisational drawing or like a process drawing or like a droopy painting or something that like comes out of the process, right? Like these glass etchings much locked in because you're scratching away, right? And then like the clothing design, like you have to have it like pretty much laid out before you send it to the printer or before you even print it out on paper. You have to sort of stage the photo for how it's gonna look. There's a lot of planning. And I wonder like if you want to say anything about that process of making, or if you need more specific something, if there was still like surprises in the process of making it, even if it's how it installed, right? Like, 'cause you did a lot of planning, and whether even in that space, still surprises.
All right, I'll give you a break for talking. For me, I initially had some sketches in my sketchbook of like some of the imagery that I wanted to go with. I ended up going with none of them. So ironically, I originally started working on them with like dry eraser marker because I was just like, oh, it's like glass, like sometimes people use that for marking. But then when it came to trying to carve it out, and the reason I chose the dry eraser is if I messed up with the drawing, I could just erase it right away. But then it was too easy to erase that when I had the whole composition set up, like you had mentioned, I would like be carving with like this really big drum that's probably like this big, and it's not easy to like grab and hold. My hand definitely has arthritis now, so like it was like too. So then I actually started using Sharpie and alcohol wipes to kind of like make it a little bit easier in a way to do it. And then using images from my computer, which are a little bit bigger than the sketches that I had, so then I can blow them up, and then also add just like the smaller details, and it provides a little bit more wiggle room in a way. And yeah, and like I originally had planned for them to be kind of like the shadow boxes where they're coming directly out the wall, but with the planning of that, I was just like, I don't want to like go too much into the plexiglass in like fear of like breaking them and cracking them, even though they're very resilient, and that's like the whole point of plexiglass. They're more flexible than regular glass. But I decided the chains, and then that works out perfectly with like a medieval gate, for example, or the Patagonia, whatever you mentioned earlier as well. So it ended up fitting the vibe very well. So that's how I planned it. And yeah, so that's just for the plexiglass pieces. But for you, Ron?
For mine, it's just kind of simple. I just go online on social media and see like inspiration, and I find that inspiration and plug it into Illustrator or Photoshop, and just do whatever I want on the clothing, how I feel, like the energy that I feel in that moment, and just add that and get all the files and send it to a manufacturer overseas to get it made. So you have to really go through like what type of cuts you want, what type of layers, what type of fabric, what type of it's a lot that go into it, but yeah, it's really like more simple. So that's the plan.
So did you feel like once everything was here, it looked exactly how you thought it would, or did you feel like there were some surprises in the visual, like in the presentation?
Definitely a lot of surprises. It came out really great, and I thank Emily for that. I didn't think that it would turn out like this, so it definitely was surprising.
So I was going to ask, what do you feel like is out of the setup? So the whole space has worked really nicely. Like, which pieces are you most drawn towards, or like in the final like exhibition?
Definitely the magazines. I think the magazines give it a really good look to the show. It adds a lot of personality to it and gives it more character than it is. So the magazine is definitely one I'm most drawn to.
I'm going to ask you a similar-ish question. So you were talking about like with the materials being delicate and kind of having to make decisions as you're sort of switching. Which materials are you most like, or most surprising, or that you feel like you want to continue working with, or?
This clay piece was very stubborn. It felt like herding kittens in a way, and it was like I had to redo it twice because the clay was not gripping to the plywood, which I'm like, looking back at it, I'm not surprised because they're just very different materials. But I'm so happy that I found like a way to be able to attach them. If you don't know, like clay animators, use wire and then aluminum foil over that, so then it can like be a lot firm. So I took that idea and applied it to the plywood. So that really surprised me. That but then looking back, it kind of makes sense also. But I think I will be continuing working with this material, just because I think it would be really interesting to do like a shadow box, but instead of there being negative space, it'd be like a completely rolled out piece, and then I have them like a lot more like the armor, where there are like lumps out of like the really flat thing. I also have like 15 pounds of clay in my room, so that's another reason why. So I will totally be working with that one more. I also really like the paper cut one as well, just for like the fact that like I can do like it can be the shadow box, and then I can also like reflect it onto like the roof with like a big light, kind of like the plexiglass, but like in reverse. So that was really fun. So I think I'll also do that one again too.
Well, I think for both of you, it's been interesting to hear you problem solve and like it something that initially was sort of frustrating, sticking with it and being able to keep doing multiple iterations and learning from the process and adjusting. So it's really nice to see these final pieces like in this state. So really nice work.
Thank you.
And I would just like to say, David, too, like this feels like such a wonderful, you were saying that it's this sort of marriage of your interest in history and your love of art. And I feel like this whole year has been seeing you figure out like how to make something that isn't illustrating it, but is it. And I feel like you really came to some great solutions. So it's really great to see both these shows.
Well, David, I want to say I'm very proud of you. You did an amazing job. And my question to you is, for the plexiglass, does that depict a specific battle in history, or is it something that you conceptualized yourself?
So there's photographs from like online that I found that I altered a little bit. Some of them like I changed the weapons for, or like I changed the type of armor they were wearing because I know my armor. And like I switched them out because I just like I have personal preferences, and like since it was kind of like a marriage of like my my interest in history and stuff like that, I wanted to like tie in the ones that I liked. But like the composition of them remained the same. There isn't any particular battle that is in in focus or in mind in a way, although I could probably do something with that in the future. Not particularly in these pieces at the moment. So, good question though.
Yeah, very cool. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. I was like,